Okay, g'day, Rudy here. So in a nutshell, this question's about WAM for a dividend versus, which is an LIC, listed investment company, versus, say, a small growth ETF like Mvs. So it stemmed from a question from my man, just a rabbit hunter. He says he's been watching WAM for a while to add to his dividend portfolio because it's paying approximately 8.8%. Yeah, giddy up. And it's got a 2-year rounded bottom. I like the terminology, charting terminology. Then he goes on to explain they invest in, anyway, I'll explain that to you. Then I went back with a big spiel, which I'll go through now. I won't read that, I'll run you through it. And I followed it up with, so what do you think? Geez, Rudy, more homework. I think I'll be rethinking this. So it's important because it's, I think a lot of people fall into this trap. So this is the WAM webpage, yeah? Look at that. 9% dividend yield. Now, this is the thing, dividends don't get made in thin air. You know, like companies pay dividends, and not all companies pay a dividend of 9%. Very many, not very many at all. Maybe New Hope. Like even Woodside, the king is 6. So there's so the way I'll get into it. It's a bit of a rort, if you ask me. So what does WAM do? So, well, this is why I don't like listed investment companies, because once a month they'll send you out a little newsletter saying like this: these are the companies we hold. All right, top 20 in alphabetical order. So you got your A2 Milk, ALS, your Motors, Collins Food, Integral Diagnostics. So they're all in the ASX 300 small caps, Megaport, okay? So there's nothing wrong. Nothing, you know, they're going and doing the homework and picking out the good ones. But you have no idea what weighting they have and what other holdings do they have. Like, so how can you know what it's worth? That's why I don't like listed investment companies, because you're sort of banking on them. Well, as I said, how do you know what it's worth? So let's look at WAM. So so I did say technically it's not a rounded bottom because it needs to, the right side's a bit skinny. Needs to come back here and do a bit and then go up. It's more of a declining wedge breakout, which has nearly reached its target. But anyway, so this is the WAM. So people are, so its value, like on that once a month statement, said it's worth $1.67. Like if they summed up all their shares that they keep secret on how much they hold. But you'd have to say that's right because they have auditors and stuff. So it's now worth $1.80. So have the shares in their portfolio gone up 7% in 2 weeks? I don't know, but I don't think so. But people will say, oh, buy it and I'll get 9% dividend. Like, so my counter punch to him, which is a great question, I said, well, have you thought about like this ETF here, MVS? So I should okay, so this is MVS. So it's the same sort of thing. They throw a growth, value, quality, profitability score on how they pick their 50 companies, and it pays, like over the last 5 years, paid 4% div. So, but when you go, like with ETFs, okay, so this is what they're holding. So in the ETF they got Parenti, Codan, Oztal. They've got 2% weighting to each of them. Ramelius, NRW, Genesis, Capricorn. Good to see some gold stocks. Volt, another one. Good. Temple, Mebster, Monadelphous, Luca, AMP, and that, and every day that ETF value reflects the underlying holdings. So you know what you're buying, and that looks quite good. Okay, so yeah, but it only pays 4%, and WAM pays 9%. Rudy, you idiot. Yeah, okay. All right, so this is why I like the ratios. Okay, so now we're looking at like the capital growth. Okay, so we know dividends, WAM pays more. So this is MVS over WAM. So if we just take it from 2016 to, well, let's go to the top. No, let's just go to now. So we don't. Okay, so if you had invested in MVS, you would have made an 88%. Let's call it 90 to make things easier. So your capital would have grown 90% more than being invested in WAM. Yeah, okay. So what, Rudy? All right. So let's say so it's 9 in WAM and 4 in MVS. So that's a 5% income difference. Okay, so what about if I invest the 5% and compound that? Okay, well that comes to 62%. Okay, so you're still 30% short when you add your income and your growth. So obviously if you invest in MVS, well, there's tax. Then you've got tax things, right? So if you've just holding MVS, then you get your 4% div, which is fully franked. Okay, and you don't pay any capital gains tax. But with WAM, you're getting a 9% div, which isn't fully franked. So you're getting more income to declare in your tax return, with not 100% franking credits. Now, if you're in pension phase, then you don't pay any tax, so you don't give a toss. But you should give a toss that capital growth plus income plus compounding still doesn't come to the 90% difference. So I reckon it was a great question, and I know why he can't answer it. And that's why I thought I'd put the video together. Because I know a lot of people, the same there's some gold like that, LSX, which is a gold listed investment company. The same thing, you don't know exactly what they're invested in, but people just buy it. And I don't understand why you'd buy a listed investment company when you don't know exactly what they're holding. You sort of you're paying a premium to hope they're doing the right thing. I'd rather buy something that I know what's underneath it. All right, if you're invested in WAM and you think I'm full of crap, let me know. But I'm just putting it out there for people. All right, see ya.